She's one of the few models in our country who actually crosses the boundary. Aliza Rajan, today's guest on the SAK show, brought to you by MacCoffee. Power you now. Big shout out to, of course, MacCoffee, Power You Now, Wet Lounge, and the Bollywood Casino. Aliza Rajan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Nice to have you
inviting
me here.
So tell me, before anything else, Aliza Rajan, that's the first question I always ask our guests. Who is Aliza Rajan?
Aliza is a 25-year-old psychology major who found her love for events and obviously for the pageant world and for modeling.
Yeah.
And grew into that.
Wow, that's cool. So tell me, how did it all start then? Let's start it off all the way from the beginning. When you were a child, did you still love the high heels and all that?
When I was a child, I loved fashion. I loved dressing up. I started wearing my heels from the age of 14, and I've honestly never stopped. It's hard for you to find me in flats.
Yeah.
So, but I never really saw modeling as something I'd be doing ever. And then I was given the opportunity in 2015 to participate in the Miss India Worldwide pageant, which was taking place in Mumbai, and it's organized by a company in New York. After that, I took on the opportunity. I was chosen to represent Kenya, and
hang on. So let's take it slow now. So so that's when you got the major breakthrough, is when there was a pageant happening, the Miss India Worldwide.
Yes, so I think the Miss India Worldwide has been happening since the 1990s, 1980s actually. And of course I knew about it with Pinky Gilani, but there are no other winners who I've actually heard about except for her. And that's the only time I'd known about it, and then after being approached by them. So they are the ones who approached you and told you, okay, you know what, let's start this. They approached me in 2015 and said, we've seen your portfolio and you've been recommended by some people in Kenya. Would you be interested in participating as Miss India Kenya 2015?
So you said yes.
I sent in my application, went through a few Skype calls, interviews, met a few of them who actually were here at some point, and then got an email saying I was selected, and the international pageant was happening in India.
Wow, awesome. So tell me, how did you prepare for it?
So here I actually prepared on my own. It's very hard to find a pageant coach, such as the ones you'd find in most countries that were participating. And so I really wish I had known how it would be, because when I went there I realized the amount of talent and dedication that these other girls...
Those guys are serious, they're on another level.
And they have pageant coaches that are with them from the start to the end, and actually come with them to the pageant and are just training them one-on-one. So that's something I didn't have, and I wish Kenya would start to implement that.
So then what did you do about that? Like, did you just train yourself, or? So
I trained myself, went through a few YouTube videos, saw how it is, spoke to a few, honestly just did it all on my own and just tried to use my own experience, but then I realized that my own experience was more modeling, so print and commercial and stuff like that, rather than pageant modeling is very different. So it's the whole, you have to smile, whereas the modeling I was doing before was more serious and
stuff and everything.
Print.
And so now the whole experience itself, being in India on an international platform, that was your first time.
Yes,
and you were like, wow, that's it. The modeling thing I've done, photo shoots, all that stuff. But now actually catwalking and share with us that experience.
The experience I had in India was phenomenal. It was amazing. Like, to see the amount of energy, dedication that all these girls had, and the talent that they had, and I really wish that Kenya would be able to. So when I went there, I just really realized how we don't have that industry in our country.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just...
So what happened in that pageant? Where did you end up finishing?
So they didn't give us,
they don't grade?
No, they just went straight from 40 to the top 5.
Yeah.
Whereas usually they go straight from 40 to the top 10. But at that time there was some issue with the whole Miss Femina India and Miss India Worldwide. Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't make it in the...
No, I didn't make it in the top 10.
Yeah. But I guess it's, as you say, the resources were not available to you.
Not at all. And now, after taking over the Miss India Worldwide in Nairobi and training these girls with other talented people within Kenya, our current Miss India Worldwide, she got a title for something, which to me is great because it just shows.
But you were lucky because you just got the title. You didn't
No, I'm saying she got a title at the actual Miss India.
No, that's fine, that's fine. But now, let's speak about Aliza. You are like lucky because you did not actually have to compete for it.
Yeah, very lucky in that aspect. So they just in most cases you have to show your talent. You have to show something about just how you speak, and then obviously your pictures and appearance and stuff like that. So they made me send a video on my talent, which I just did a dance mixing African and Indian, and then more of it was just Skype interviews. So yeah, I didn't really compete with anyone as such. But they did say that there were plenty of other people also up against.
Fair enough. Then after that you said, what? I want to take over this pageant in this country, because obviously you felt the need to showcase this in our country.
Yeah, I mean, after I was there, it wasn't something that just came to me suddenly. But when I came back, I really just wanted to start something here in terms of maybe a fashion school or a modeling school. And I spoke to the director there, and he's like, why don't you take over the franchise? Because it was happening before and it stopped for some reason. So why don't you take over it and do it on your own and train these girls with other people who have that talent in Kenya? And that's exactly what I did.
So you actually ran for it, and now that is your passion right now. That is your baby now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing now.
And after that, how many have taken place so far?
So just 2, and this will be my 3rd one.
So this year we're going to expect the 3rd one.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you have to say about your experience of the 2 pageants and the winners, and how has that been? Is Kenya learning and growing, or what?
I really believe that they are, because now there's also a lot of exhibitions and international shows coming to Kenya, and they're like, we've seen your pageant, can you organize and put together a fashion show in the way that you did for Miss India with these models? And I think that's great, because obviously the industry is growing now for us. And modeling was not something within the Asian community that would really happen as such. It was, and I'm glad it's built. It's
built itself, and so where do you see it in a couple of years?
I see it growing and just reaching like a level where we'd be able to compete on an international platform, and that girl would win the
I gotta give it to you, because generally we see pageants happening, but they just die out. But you've actually done so. Kudos to you. Keep it up. You're on the right track. I mean, you have sustained yourself, and you are going in. Inshallah, this year is going to be a 3rd one as well. That's super.
Yeah.
So, guys, we meet right after this.
My name is Zablon. I'm 3-time Mr. Kenya, fitness freak and a personal trainer. MacCoffee morning gives me the perfect start every morning. It is very fast and easy to make it. I just have to open the sachet, pour it in the cup and add hot water. You don't need sugar or milk or anything else. It is fast, convenient and tasty. Above all, it gives me energy for the whole day. And what's a better way to start my morning? I love MacCoffee morning. MacCoffee, power your now.
So Aliza, tell me, as a child you had a disorder or something?
Actually, as a teenager.
As a teenager, okay.
Going through anorexia.
Wow.
Which is an eating disorder. Not really anything about being health conscious as such, but just more about just not eating at all.
Not eating at all. So it's like you just don't want to look at food at all.
Yeah, exactly. Just it's something where you eat maybe like this much cake, like for lunch,
and you're satisfied.
Yeah, yeah, and you just. It's not that you're satisfied. It's like
you can't.
Yeah, and with time it actually just gets worse, not better. So yeah.
So how did you overcome that?
So I was going through that when I was in school here, and then after that, obviously, I went to university in Canada and stayed there for a while, and just grew out of it there. There's a lot of people there that are actually willing to help.
They're supportive.
Yes.
Unlike here, they'll criticize.
Yeah, and it's something there where it's actually accepted. It's normal. It's okay for girls to be going through that. And here, honestly, there's plenty of girls I know that are going through that. And after I did speak about it, have come and said, "Can we speak to you? Can we meet you?" And I've met them and found out that maybe it's not anorexia, but it's another eating disorder. So just realize that it's something happening everywhere, but because it's not spoken about here, girls don't...
They're not very vocal about it.
Yeah, and they're just scared to speak up about it, which is necessary.
So it was the support that made you actually...
Yeah, and it's the fact that over there, you can speak about it to anyone. It's also just that you see things outside of the box, and people there, they don't judge and criticize you. They're just very accepting to these
So it's
things.
more of a mental state.
Yes,
That helps you to come out
exactly. That's all you need, is just people around you to just support you, and you grow out of it. And realize that you can be healthy through other means.
Okay, so guys, if you have any issues of that, Aliza is the person, just message her, she'll reply.
Exactly, I will.
So now coming back to the pageants, your pageant, that's your core and everything. Of course, event organization and everything comes in hand. Now, I'm just curious, how does the pageant work? Is that what you do for a living now?
Yes, it is.
Is
basically
it sustainable?
my
Does it pay your bills now?
main thing. Actually, I had a shisha lounge which I was also running, but after the ban, that was just a mess. And right now, it's just more of this event, and yes, it does. But at the same time, it's not all that I'm doing. I'm also looking at partnering with a fashion school in Dubai, and just starting my own thing here where I'll train models of all ages, kids, teens, adults, and they'll receive the certificates from the university in Dubai. So I feel like that also links with the whole pageant, because a lot of girls who participate come for the training after.
Okay, we'll come to the pageant. I'd love to know the pros and cons of that. But tell me, you as a model right now, where do you see yourself in Kenya as a model?
Honestly, the industry in Kenya for modeling is not the best.
It's not the best.
So in terms of
modeling... Is it because it's way behind, or is it too competitive? Share with us.
Not competitive at all, actually. I wish there were more Asian models as such. And I also wish that models in Kenya wouldn't stop doing anything for free. And I'm sure you heard of the whole Pay Models Kenya thing, which is something that I find really sad, because if brands and designers started to support models and pay them as well, and as much as they make off one outfit they sell, then I feel like, then I'd be able to say I see myself really far in a few years.
Now, one of my dear friends and your uncle, I said, she's the one who crosses the boundaries. I'm so proud of you. So tell me, this crossing the boundary thing is like, people see your Instagram and everything, and then they see you actually go, you're not scared to show your body. I mean, yes, if you have it, nothing wrong with that. But how do you perceive it? Isn't that a hindrance? Because there's a lot of resistance coming for that, or what?
As in terms of
exposure.
Especially when you're Asian. Even though I keep mentioning that, it's because there's a lot of judgment that gets passed. There's a lot of criticism. But I really believe that if you don't cross the boundaries, or you don't do something that most people aren't doing, then you're just not going to stand out. You're not going to make it anywhere. And there's a lot of brands that actually approach me just because they see that it's not just a typical portfolio shot. So
your current 2018 pageant.
Yes.
It's taking place in a few months.
In August.
Probably in August, inshallah. Okay.
Yeah, first weekend of August we're looking at that, most likely.
So Aliza, you know, point blank question.
Yeah, sure.
Pageants are biased. That's the title everybody says a few months before and a few monds after, and then they all go quiet. I mean,
yeah.
I know, nobody's satisfied in life, you know, anything, oh, my daughter didn't win, this one didn't win, or this one paid more money and that's why she won, and this and that. Tell me about that, share. You being the hardcore over here, you've done 2 pageants, you've, 3 actually.
No, yeah, and that's something that after every event I just expected. Yeah. I know it's coming to me, so I just wait backstage and all the girls just come and start throwing their comments, and I've learned how to handle it now. Yeah. But no, there's absolutely no bias. I know how it is to participate. I know how it is to want to win that title. I wouldn't want anything to be biased.
So let's start from a scratch, hearing it from the horse's mouth. Yeah. I wouldn't say I want to participate, but somebody wants to participate. How does it work? Is it open to anyone, everyone? Run through us the whole process from start to the training, to the pageant itself, knockout round or whatever. You know, how does it work? And then the judging criteria in the end.
Okay, so you have to be a Kenyan citizen, but of Asian origin. Ages are 18 to 26. You never married.
So not married at all?
No. Okay. Yeah, you have to be single. Even if you're divorced, still doesn't apply. Yeah, that's about it. This pageant doesn't really depend on appearance as such. Well, it does to an extent. Exactly. Yeah. So no height requirement. Weight also to an extent. There's no they are more about what it is on the inside, which is what they believe, and that's why they remove the whole swimwear around and everything as such. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the requirement. Then after that, what happens if the person's registered and then they start? You train them, they pay, this, that.
Yeah. So after they register and they send in their details via email, then I meet each one of them, have a conversation with them, just see what they want to do in life, just see their ambition, because a lot of girls come and they're just yeah, we're taking a gap year, we don't know what we're going to do. And we want girls who are actually very ambitious and want to use this title to get somewhere.
Focus.
Yeah, so we select around 12 to 15 girls, and from there then we start the whole training. Procedure, yeah.
And then on the pageant, how does it work? They're 2 rounds, 3 rounds? Or
so there's...
2 different events or what?
First there's the talent night, which is very small. It's on a weekday, and the girls are scored on that. Yeah. So and that's 50% of their overall score.
All right.
After that, no one's told who's won anything. Just Miss Talent is told that you've won, that she's won, so that she can come and participate on the grand finale.
Okay.
And then we have the final night on the weekend, where there's the first runway, which is one designer, and they're judged just on their walk, and they're basically on that runway. It's an introduction runway.
Okay.
So they're told to introduce themselves, and we train them on this. We listen to each and every participant's introduction, and it should be unique to herself. So the judges judge the first runway based on basically what she speaks about, how she speaks, and also obviously her runway walk, and that's another 20% of her score.
Okay, so that's 70 gone.
Yeah, and then we have the last runway, which is now another designer, and that's just entirely on her walk, on her, how graceful she is, how she carries her clothes, just the girl who has the most impact on everyone, and that's the rest of the score, which I feel that just balances out both of them. Yeah.
So in terms of the judges, how do you pick your judges?
So we choose judges that are people who are from each and every industry. So we have people who are entrepreneurs, we have people who are in the media industry, we have people who are models, we have past pageant winners, like the Miss World Kenya. So that's how we choose our judges, is people who are known in the industry and who've had experience in these things.
And they are the ones who then decide and say, okay, this is the winner.
Yeah.
And you have no clue as well. It's
yes,
just
so for the talent night and for the final night, we always have different judges. Just because when you watch someone perform for the first time, you grow a liking towards maybe 2 or 3 people, and then you're obviously biased towards them when you see them the next night. So we always change our judges. So for the talent night, we have singers, actors, dancers, and so.
Awesome, Aliza, that's super. I mean, you know, it's glad that you've shared all the insights over here, so people have heard it firsthand. And we definitely wish you all the best in your next pageant. We definitely are going to be there, and for you, of course, some coffee. Do you like coffee?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm glad you do. So when you're brainstorming about your next pageant, how to walk, talk, all that stuff, and everything, keep it going with the coffee, all right?
I will.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Pleasure's mine. Guys, keep watching, like, share, subscribe. It is the SAK show brought to you by MacCoffee, power you now only on ZindagiTvKe.